In the special forces, we had a saying, your enemy studies you while you sleep. Up here, at 18,000 feet, the enemy isn't the road. It isn't the truck driver. It isn't even your age. The enemy is physics and physiology, and they've been setting an ambush since you crossed 10,000 feet. Welcome to this one-of-a-kind debrief. You are 40, 45. You have ridden for decades. You think your experience protects you? I've seen men with 20 years in the mountains make mistakes that kill them. And no, it's not tire pressure, chain lube, brake pads, or even acute mountain sickness. Here's the truth. At this altitude, your experience can be a trap. We call it the competence trap. You have the skills, you have the muscle memory, but your body is running on systems calibrated for sea level, and the mountain exploits every gap. First, let's look at the oxygen debt cascade. When you're 25, your body recovers overnight. At 47, that math changes. Every hour you spend above 10,000 feet, you're racking up a physiological debt. At our age, the body needs nearly double the recovery time, 16 to 20 hours, to hit baseline compared to a younger man. By day 4, you aren't just tired, you are cognitively compromised. This is when stupid day syndrome hits. You aren't losing your skill, you're losing your processing power. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that says stop, think, reassess, shuts down first when oxygen drops. We call it planned continuation bias. You fixate on the destination, you ignore the warnings, the red flags. I'll give you an example from my own logbook. Day 4. Nubra Valley to Pangong. I'd done this route twice before. I felt strong, confident. Around 3 p.m., I started making stupid decisions. Skipped a water break, pushed through a storm, ignored a weird noise from the engine. I wasn't tired, I felt fine. That's the trap. Hypoxia doesn't make you breathless first. It makes you stupid first. If you don't bake a 0 day of total rest into your itinerary every 3 days, the mountain will take its payment. Usually when you least expect it. The protocol. Check your blood oxygen every morning. If you're below 85%, you do not ride. Your ego wants to push. The mountain wants to kill. Listen to the data, not your feelings. Next is your optical intelligence. After 40, the lens in your eye begins to harden. It's called presbyopia. It's subtle at sea level, but at 15,000 feet, the UV radiation is 50% more intense. This glare flattens your depth perception. I've seen riders overshoot a switchback because they literally couldn't distinguish the grey of the road from the grey of the cliff edge. Your brain is guessing the distance because your eyes are providing low-resolution data. In the Special Forces, we call this threat magnification. Your brain, under stress, makes small dangers look huge, and in doing so, creates the very danger you were trying to avoid. Don't trust your first glance. Use polarized Category 4 lenses and understand that your eyes are lying to you about how deep that pothole really is. And slow down in the shadows. When you go from bright sun into shadow, your pupils need 3 full seconds to adjust. 3 seconds where you're essentially blind. If you're doing 60 kilometers per hour, you've traveled 50 meters in those 3 seconds. Half a football field. Blind. Then there's your balance, your inner gyroscope. At altitude, low oxygen dulls the vestibular system in your inner ear. Since balance naturally declines after 40, you're already at a disadvantage. This creates a phantom wobble. You feel like the bike is tipping when it isn't, leading you to overcorrect. This is why we see so many embarrassing low-speed tipovers on cambers or gravel. You aren't bad at riding, your processor is lagging. The fix? Slow your inputs. Make every movement deliberate. Smooth is fast, and at altitude, smooth is survival. This one is a critical mission failure. As we age, our thirst sensation diminishes. You won't feel thirsty even as the dry Himalayan air sucks the moisture out of your lungs. The symptoms of mild dehydration, headache, fatigue, nausea are identical to early altitude sickness. I see riders popping Diamox when what they actually need is 4 liters of water and electrolytes. If you treat dehydration as AMS, you're masking a problem that leads to a total physical shutdown. At our age, hydration is a scheduled task, not a reaction. 4 liters a day, regardless of thirst. Set a timer if you have to. Finally, a mechanical note. These mountains are made of rock flour. It's fine glacial silt. It's microscopic. When you cross those streams, that silt becomes airborne. If it gets into your brake or clutch fluid reservoirs, it acts like a grinding paste. In 7 to 10 days, exactly the length of a typical Leh trip, it can chew through your master cylinder seals. I have seen catastrophic brake failure on the descent of Tanglangla because of silt introduced 5 days prior. Total brake failure. The rider survived, barely. Engine braking and a runaway truck ramp saved him. Clean your reservoir caps with a damp microfiber before you ever open them. Treat your brake fluid like a sterile field. Don't let a speck of dust end your ride. A young rider survives on reflexes. A mature rider survives on intel. The difference between an ordeal and an adventure is preparation. I didn't learn these lessons in a classroom. I learned them on a mountainside at 2 a.m., fixing a bike with numb fingers. I learned them watching friends make mistakes I couldn't afford to repeat. We don't ride to prove we're still young. We ride because we're finally wise enough to do it right. The mountain respects only one thing: preparation. Here is your SOP for the mission. The 3:1 rule. 3 days of movement, 1 day of total static rest. Scheduled hydration, 4 liters a day regardless of thirst. Visual integrity. Category 4 UV protection is mandatory. Mechanical hygiene. Treat your brake fluid like a sterile field. Experience is only an advantage if you're conscious enough to use it. Respect the math. Respect your age. And the mountain might just let you pass. So here's your mission tonight. Go through your kit. Do you have a pulse oximeter? Category 4 lenses? A microfiber cloth for your reservoirs? Do you have rest days built into your itinerary? Write it down. Check it twice. Because the mountain will check you every single day. Tell me in the comments, what's the one thing that went wrong on your last high altitude ride that you didn't see coming? Let's debrief together. In the next briefing, we talk about the fence sitters. If you were a rider when young and have been thinking about restarting, then I'll try and help you make your decision easier. Until then, ride safe, ride soft, ride long. Jai Hind.